Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Shannon, and I'm going to show you how to do the duckweed setup using a cup. I have another video if you're using the Petri dish, but if you're using the cup, this is the one that you're going to want to watch. What you're going to need to do for the cup is to set it up. You'll use your water sample, whatever water sample that you've been assigned or that you've chosen. And you're going to pour in the water that you're going to work with. And for these little cups, these little beakers, you want about 100, let's start with 100 milliliters. Actually, let's go up to 125. So about 125 milliliters. You don't want it too full. It's going to spill, but then again, some of it's going to be evaporating off, and so this will give us a nice base to start with. So if you could start with 125, that would be great. Next thing that you're going to want to do is, once you have your water, you're going to place your plants in there. Oh, actually, first off, if you are watching this video and you are going to be treating your solution with a nutrient, for instance, you will need to add your nutrient to this too. And actually what I suggest, instead of adding it directly to the water, is that you prepare a separate container of nutrient sample. I'll do another video for how to do that up, but it would be easier if you just put your nutrient in a separate sample bottle, and that way if you have to top it off throughout the experiment, you already have it. So either way, you're pouring your original sample or your nutrient sample water into the cup. And then you're going to go ahead and place in the duckweed. Now we have these little things called inoculation loops. There's different sizes. So the yellow ones are a little bit bigger. These are really small. I don't know if you can see the little loop, but either way it helps us lift it, lift the duckweed out. So it doesn't matter which one you use, but you're going to want to gently scrape the plant off the top. And now if you can see here, I have hardly anything on there. You don't want a big group of plants to start with because it's hard to measure it. And then if you just gently tap it on the water, they will come out. And so what I'm going to do is see if I can show you a little bit closer. So I'm going to do this for a second, and I'll do it a couple more times. You're going to want at least 20 fronds to start, at least 20 fronds to start. If you start with a few more, that's fine, but you want at least 20. And remember, if you don't remember what I'm talking about with fronds, fronds are the leaves. And so sometimes there's just one leaf. Like if you can look in the middle here, there's just one. Some of these plants, like this little guy here, if I can get him up. Some of these plants, like this little guy, let's see, can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. It has 2 leaves on it. That counts as 2 fronds. It doesn't matter the size of the leaf. It could be just a little tiny baby leaf, but you count each frond individually. You do not count each plant. I would actually say if you want to go up to 30, that's even fine. And so what you're going to do is start with your duckweed sample, just a couple at a time in there, and then go ahead and count them up. So like this one I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this one I'm going to end up with a little bit more past 30, but that will be fine. That will be fine for this experiment. Now, if you're confused on still how much to add in, see the sample that Mrs. Shannon or your teacher has available for you, and you can use that as a guide. Okay, important thing here. Make sure you label it with what your sample is. So you'll take a piece of masking tape. You're going to put your hour. You're going to put your initials. And you're going to put the name of your actual water sample, whether it's the source or whether it has a nutrient in it, on masking tape and tape it to the side of the cup. And then we'll place it under the grow lights, and every week we'll go through and we'll count them. Now, one thing that people tend to forget is that when we start an experiment, when we initially start it, we do need to record how many we started with. This will be time 0. Okay, so week 0. You can even call it week 0 in your data chart. Make sure you have a week 0. This is the beginning. make sure that you count the number of fronds and record that. And then once a week, probably on Mondays, you'll go back and count each one up, and you'll include it in your data table, and then we'll be able to start looking at trends within that. So I hope this helps with setting up. Please make sure to clean up your area when you're done. Return any supplies that you had, any water samples, back to where you picked it up from.